Okay, we're going to attempt to make a video here on how to remove a pipe plug. Now I see guys that are doing it all different ways, and everybody's got their own way that works. This is the way that works for me. First, let's cover something very basic. Most people understand that this is a pipe plug and this has got a taper to it. So when the tighter you tighten it up, the more it's going to wedge. You don't want to tighten these up any tighter than you have to, because depending on how thick the casting is here, you can bust it. And if you put a little bit of Teflon on it, that actually cuts down the friction. So you got to be really careful if you use silicone, Teflon, anything of that nature. You can crank up a pipe plug and you can split something very easily, and it's a pain to fix it, and I've fixed a lot of them. Now you see some guys are welding a booger on here, welding a washer on here, then welding a nut on here. Well, that's a bunch of crap. You know, if it works for you, God bless you. The problem is a lot of this stuff is zinc coated, and when you hit it with a wire welder, by the time you blow through all the coating on it, you really got a contaminated weld, and it's nearly not that strong. And you end up breaking it off most of the time. At least I have. I've never had really good luck doing it that way. So what I do is I drill it. And you want to drill out the plug as far as you can, and you want to use a easy out as big as you can. Don't be putting a little tiny easy out in here and driving it in a 1/4 inch and expecting to remove this, because you're not gonna. Some of the square drive ones, they have a socket in them, and some of them are Allen. This was a replacement. Usually the square head ones like that, that's usually a factory plug. So this had a 5/16 Allen head type hex. And what happened was they put it in so tight I could put it on whether my breaker had a 1/2 inch breaker bar, and I was hanging off the end of it, and I'm not a little guy, and it didn't go nowhere. So it rounded off. So what we're going to do is I prefer using the square ones. We're going to drive this in here, hopefully. That should be good. Okay, and then I take a pipe wrench, or a adjustable wrench, not a pipe wrench. And you see it ain't going. So what do I think of the guy that put this plug in here? I don't think very much of him at this point, because that is way tighter than it absolutely needs to be. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put a little heat on the subject. Most of the time you can get them out. If the heads are eroded from rust and whatnot, it's usually quicker to drill them, and usually most of the time you can get them loose. Now I could drill it out a little bit bigger and relieve a little bit more pressure on it, but today we'll try it. I thought that I drilled it out large enough to get it to go. It just plain don't want to come out, and we'll have to convince it it's going to come out. You don't want to put any more heat on it than you have to. Obviously, this is a whole lot tighter than it absolutely needs to be. You know, the pipe plug is going to wedge into the block. You're putting sealer on it. There's just absolutely no reason to have them this tight. and it still won't come out. And ask me how much I think of the guy that put that in there right now. There's just absolutely no reason in the world to have anything that tight. It just does not need to be that tight. I'm going to try to get it out without dropping the camera on the ground and destroying the tripod. Now I'm looking for a hex socket that I can get on there. This is a little loose, probably end up catching it with my teeth, but we'll try it. So like I said, it just don't need to be this tight. So rounded it out, trying to get the Allen out of it. Now I'm going to end up rounding off the easy out. See how tight that was. Okay, so we got it out. And a lot of guys, they might not like these easy outs because, you know, they grab pretty good. If you back them off, sometimes that works. What I do with this is I take a hammer and not on a block, but like on the back of my vise where it's got a little anvil, and I hit it here, hit it here, hit it here, and they'll come right off. And I'll show you, if I can, how I do it. And watch out for the fingers. Okay, so I'll take it on the back of my anvil on my vise, and I'll hold it, and I'll hit it like that, and I'll turn it again, and then I hit it like that, and out they come. So this works for me. This is how I do them all. I really don't like trying to weld stuff. It just never worked with me. If you can get some plain non-coated bolts, or washers and nuts, and weld them on, it usually works, but that's how I do it.